moved in only 3 months ago, excited to start their new chapter with their 6-month-old daughter, Lily. The house was perfect, spacious, full of character, and set in a quiet neighborhood. But soon, their dreams of a peaceful family life unraveled into a nightmare. It started subtly, with faint noises at night, creaks on the floorboards, the sound of a door softly closing. They chalked it up to the house settling or the wind pressing against the windows. But then Lily began crying, every single night, always at the same time, 2:47 a.m. At first, Anna assumed it was teething. She would rush into the nursery to find Lily sitting up in her crib, tears streaming down her tiny face. But no matter how long Anna cradled her, the crying wouldn't stop until nearly 3 a.m. Mark, ever the skeptic, dismissed it. "Babies cry," he'd say, rolling over in bed. But Anna couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Lily's cries weren't the usual hungry or tired wails. They were piercing, guttural, as if something had terrified her. And then, there were the moments when Anna swore she saw shadows shifting in the nursery, even when the nightlight glowed steadily. One particularly restless night, Anna decided to stay in the nursery. She pulled up a chair next to Lily's crib, determined to comfort her the moment she stirred. At exactly 2:47 a.m., the temperature in the room dropped sharply. Anna pulled her cardigan tighter around her shoulders, her breath visible in the sudden chill. Lily began to whimper, her little hands reaching out into the air as though grasping for something or someone. And then Anna heard it. A faint, mournful wail, almost like a woman crying, coming from the corner of the room. Her heart pounded as she turned toward the sound. The corner was empty, at least it seemed empty. But the shadows there seemed thicker, darker, and they moved as if alive. "Mark!" Anna screamed, clutching Lily to her chest. Mark came rushing in, but by the time he arrived, the room was warm again, and the shadows had receded. Lily's cries stopped abruptly, replaced by hiccuping sobs as Anna tried to explain what she'd heard. Mark stared at her, disbelief written across his face. "You're just exhausted," he said, pulling her into a reluctant hug. "Let's switch off. I'll take the next few nights." The following night, Mark sat in the nursery, confident he'd prove Anna's fears unfounded. But at 2:47 a.m., the temperature plummeted again, and Lily's cries began, louder, more desperate than Anna had described. Mark froze as a soft whisper filled the room. "Where is she?" Mark's blood ran cold. The voice was clear, trembling with anguish. He turned toward the source and saw the figure, a woman, her face pale and streaked with tears, standing in the corner. Her eyes were hollow, her dress tattered and dripping as though she'd just emerged from a river. Mark couldn't speak. His legs felt rooted to the ground as the woman stepped closer, her expression one of despair. "Where is she?" she repeated, her voice cracking. Suddenly, Lily's cries turned into shrieks of terror. Mark snapped out of his paralysis and ran to the crib, scooping her up and bolting from the room. He slammed the door behind him, panting as Anna appeared at the top of the stairs, alarmed by his ashen face. "She's real," Mark choked out. There's something in there." The couple spent the next day researching the history of the house. They discovered that in the early 1900s, a woman named Margaret had lived there with her infant daughter, Eleanor. Margaret's husband had been abusive, and one night, in a fit of rage, he had thrown both Margaret and Eleanor into the nearby river. Margaret's body was recovered, but Eleanor's was never found. "She's looking for her baby," Anna whispered, tears streaming down her face. Desperate for answers, they reached out to a local priest who agreed to bless the house. The priest arrived that evening, reciting prayers as he moved through the rooms. When he entered the nursery, the temperature dropped again, and the wailing began. Margaret's ghost appeared, her eyes filled with sorrow as she looked at Lily. "She's not yours," Anna said firmly, stepping between the ghost and the crib. "Eleanor isn't here." The ghost's expression twisted with grief, and she let out a heart-wrenching scream that shook the walls. The priest raised his cross, his voice steady as he commanded the spirit to leave. Margaret hesitated, her gaze lingering on Lily, before dissolving into mist. The room grew warm again, the oppressive weight lifting. That night, for the first time in weeks, Lily slept peacefully. But Anna couldn't forget the look in Margaret's eyes, of a mother who had lost everything. Even now, late at night, Anna sometimes hears faint whispers in the nursery, and she wonders if Margaret still lingers, searching for the child she lost so long ago,